we see Jaune preparing for another day of combat class, as he puts on his new pre-march armor, but we see instances of him in combat. People were still weirded out by Miss Goodwitch's wardrobe change. She still looks like a domineering teacher with her new Lord Commissar uniform. She was presiding the match between Jaune and Team CRDL, and they were having their shit pushed in. Carden charged in head first, but was swatted away by Jaune's wing as the others launched a volley of range attacks only for the Angel to shield himself, deflecting all the attacks. He then flexed his wings to begin his assault as he flew towards the three without any hesitation as he rammed at Russell, knocking him towards a wall, while Dove and Sky tried to do a pincer move as he simply flew upwards to avoid their attacks. Dove, get back here, you coward. Jaune, I'm just using my tactical advantage, but if you insist. He then slams to the ground like, sending them tumbling back as he then whips out his giant and engages them. He made quick work of the dagger user by smashing his weapons with the Emperor's sword. Then a halberd came swinging towards his back until Jaune spun around and parried with his blade. Meanwhile, a certain group was watching closely. Emerald. Is that him? Mercury. Yeah, that's the one. He handed Branwen and that specialist Schnee their asses in that brawl in the courtyard. Cinder. And he's the champion's partner and leader. Emerald. And by the looks of it, he's the strongest among the first years, if the gossip's any good. Cinder. Keep an eye on him. After we lost MT, Glenn, we need to change our approach a bit. Unknown to them, Blake was listening in. The class cheered as they all looked back and saw that Jaune slammed Carden to the ground. Glinda, that is enough. Mr. Arc Team CRDL's aura has been depleted. And this is just a taste of what's to come at the festival. So, any volunteers? Mercury raised his hand. Mercury, I'd like to try. Glinda, choose your opponent. Mercury points towards the Angel. Glinda, Mr. Black, Mr. Arc just finished his match he needs. She glances at Jaune, who nods at her. Glinda, all right, Mr. Arc has agreed to the match. Mr. Black, please prepare and proceed to the arena. Mercury, whatever. Jaune had warned Glinda in advance of this, and they made sure to mark and observe Team CMN carefully. Mercury then came down and looked at the Angel, wary of what skill level he may have, but what he saw was anything but an angel. When he looked at him in a glimpse, he saw a fiery battlefield and the so-called angel covered in blood-bearing fangs and glowing white eyes with a sword and spear staring down at him. He never felt this kind of killing intent even with his affiliation with Tyrion. Glinda, well, are you two ready? Jaune, yes. Mercury. Glinda. Mr. Black, stop spacing out, you are in the middle of a battlefield. Mercury, yeah. Alright. He got into his stance while Jaune was standing still, and an image came to Mercury. Glinda, begin. Once she said that, Mercury felt pain in his neck as his vision was seen that he was sent flying, but when he hits the ground, he can see his body still standing in its position. He backs away. Mercury, wah. An illusion? Is this your semblance? Jaune, no. I'm not even doing anything. Whatever you're feeling or seeing is my intent. Mercury, he intends to kill me. Glinda, don't be ridiculous, Mr. Black. Mercury gathered himself and prepares to sprint and close the distance only to feel an imbalance. He saw that his right leg was cut off as he staggered forward, only to be brought back to reality as he nearly tripped. Jaune, what's the matter? Your legs are shaking. Mercury, what is this shit? He then raises his arms and he felt he's missing something as he looks down. His arms were falling to the ground and he shakes his head. Mercury, stop IIT. Nora, go get him. Here. Kira, it looks like he's messing with him. Maybe it's those scare powers? Blake, no, he said he doesn't have that ability. His brother Magnus is known for that. Young, whatever it is, it's not enough. That bastard ruined my life before, and I'm gonna enjoy destroying him later. RWBY, yeah, we all have an axe to grind. Back to the fight. Jaune, I'm not doing anything. He then charges at the Angel only to be backhanded to a wall, cutting his aura in half. Glinda, and winner by ring out. That is a demonstration of what's to come, students. So prepare for your matches. Dismissed. Classes was over, and everyone is going to spend their free time accordingly. The team went their way to speak with the Lamenters about the battle plan, but they were met with Cinder's team. Cinder, that was quite a show, Mr. Angel. John, it was only a taste of what I can really do. Emerald, ominous. Mercury, man, you sure hit hard for someone your size. I feel like my tooth is loose. John, I apologize. I was just trying to hold back. Mercury, you call that holding back? Ruby, well, we don't want to hold you up. We have an engagement elsewhere. Come on, team. They then leave while the rest of the crew gave them all the stink eye. Emerald, sheesh, I can feel the hostility there. Wonder if we rubbed them the wrong way. Mercury, no shit, Sherlock. Cinder, that angel is the top of our hit list. We have to take him down before we resume our plans. The two nods as they leave to get prepared. The Beacon crew looked back with glares. Ruby, she is so dead. Weiss, yeah, tell me about it. Young, there won't be anything left after we're done with her. Blake, I have no problem taking a life, especially if it's her. Pyrrha, round 2.